My name is Leon Townsend III. That is my birth name. That is my given name. Dad and granddad before me, obviously. I've been doing this orientation for almost 3 years now, and it's one of the funnest things I get to do. So, part one is your membership, what it equates to, and our ethics. Part two is the part that most people are usually more excited about because that's where the money comes in, and that's the MLS. But I get to talk to you about your responsibilities, where you get to actually learn more about what it means, other than selling homes, about what it means to be an actual realtor. So I love this part because is where we get the passion and excitement from people. And then after that, you get to learn about how to actually do your business. Right. So usually this is where we would ask you to um, introduce yourself, your brokerage, and why you got into real estate. But since we are online, we're going to do a little bit differently. But the orientation is part of your introduction to being a realtor and a member of this family. So for the orientation, you must stay for the entire program. We are keeping track of your attendance via Zoom. And then also to receive your refund, you must also complete the NAR new training, which is the code of ethics, which we will get into, but you also have to do that online. So if you guys want, I encourage you to take a screenshot of this, take a picture so that you know where to go to get that training done so that you can get your refund. So our mission statement. This is the mission statement of the West San Gabriel Valley Realtors. This is our mission to advocate and enhance the interests of realtors, to promote adherence to the Realtor Code of Ethics and professional competency of members, to safeguard and preserve private property rights, while always being mindful of cultural backgrounds within communities. Right. So, as a realtor, there's a lot of things that you will deal with that most industries don't deal with on a normal basis. So, we must make sure that with everything that we do, that we adhere to our code of ethics as well as keep that mode of professional competency. So we have to always be remembering what is important to us and how do we maintain professionalism each and every day in everything that we do, from marketing to conversations with clients, customers, prospects, and other realtors or other aspects of the business and other people that help us in our transactions. So now that you are a realtor, you have all paid your association fees. You now are members of three organizations in one. West St. Gabriel, which is us, that is your local association. California Association of Realtors, which is your state association. And the National Association of Realtors, which is the national as far as the whole country. So you automatically are members now. So you could put on your marketing that you are a member of the National Association of Realtors and the California Association of Realtors as well. So you get to stake claim as members of all of those. So I would like to welcome you, be one of the first to welcome you to each one of these families. We're mainly going to focus today on how the the three of these actually link in together, right? Your local level is where you're most likely going to be doing the majority of your work because you can't necessarily be in 18 different counties at once. You are in the area that you want to be in, serving the people that you want to serve. But you also have a responsibility to the state and the national level as well. So you are all members of those. Congratulations. All right. Now, since you are a member of the National Association of Realtors and the California Association of Realtors as well, you get to use the R. The Realtor R is one of the most recognizable symbols in real estate itself. And you could use the trademark on your marketing, on your websites that you would have, if it's company provided or you created it on your own. You have the capability of using that R because the only way you can use that R is being a member of the National Association of Realtors. Non-members cannot use the Realtor R. If you see someone that's not a member, you can report them and they will pay a fine. But you also have to make sure, even though you are a member, you keep that design for the realtor mark in the way it needs to be. So it could be just like this photo, right? Or it could just be the art, but you have to use it in the correct manner. If you want, you can look at the website and look at the trademark. You can download it to your computer using your email signatures so that it's there and you could always have it. But I love the R. I have to keep buying the pen because I wear the pen, but I lose it a lot because it's so small. So I always purchase another one each and every year, gold, silver. You can wear that anywhere you go because nothing's stopping you from advertising yourself subtly, right? As a member of NAR, CAR, and West St. Gabriel, you get access to these things. So as a member of West St. Gabriel, you get free, low cost education courses, right? We have free Zip Form Plus training every month. That is the third Monday of every month. We have Matrix training, which is your CRMLS. You have your license renewal, which is done every 4 years, but if you want, you can start now. We do have commercial seminars, RPA training, which is the purchase agreement, which you're going to learn a little bit more about, or if you haven't learned more about, get more experience in it. We offer that as well. Since COVID-19 hit, we usually do a lot of these things actually in person. So now we had to switch to online. So you could also access the previous trainings that we've done through the website here as well. So we also have our calendar of all the education courses that are coming up. So if you want to register for those, you can do that as well. And 2 websites I encourage you to bookmark. The member benefits from CAR and NAR. All right, as a Realtor member and as a member of a trade group, you have access to things that allow you to have different discounts or cheaper rates, such as FedEx Office, Liberty Mutual Insurance. Realtors have their own credit union, so you can get a Realtor bank account and a Realtor credit card. We have discounts on car rentals as well, even computers that you wanted to utilize for business or to purchase for kids or purchase for the home. These are updated almost every year, so I encourage you to do so. I mean, you could save thousands of dollars a year just by saying you're a Realtor member, right? And I encourage you to utilize that because that's the perk of being a part of a trade organization such as the National Association of Realtors. So all of these websites are at your disposal. I also encourage you to bookmark the West St. Gabriel website just so that you can keep up with everything that we're doing consistently so that you can stay educated, stay informed, and that allows you to be the best realtor you can be, right? There's never a day where a realtor stops learning. If a realtor stops learning, a realtor is not performing well in their business. So I highly encourage you to bookmark all of these websites, spend some time on them. You know, if you're bored, there is a literal booklet on how to be a realtor on the NAR website. You can use that as sleeping material, or you can print it out, put it underneath your bed, and use the practice of osmosis so that it transfers to your brain. You know, that's what they say you would do in college, but I encourage you highly to have each and every one of these websites bookmarked, actively looked at, maybe even once to twice a week, or at least once to twice a month. And they're all very helpful to you as well. So some of the things that we offer as far as networking so that you can learn more about the business and keeping in touch with people. We have Member Appreciation Week. We're working on how to make that actually feasible since it looks like we're heading towards another shutdown. But we will always maintain ways for us to keep up so that you can keep track of what I like to call our realtor family. And, you know, that's also the other people that help with our transactions. We have breakfast meetings every Thursday at 9 a.m. Used to be in person, now they're on Zoom, where we have introductions of things that are important to the real estate world. Like a couple weeks ago, we had the president of the California Association of Realtors come in and talk about some of the programs that are available for assistance for realtors, which was very key. And I learned some things new because there are some things that have been updated since the last time we've been briefed on that topic. You'll have people coming in from our 5 cities that we serve. Like this Thursday coming up, we have someone coming from the city of Rosemead to inform us on what they're doing during COVID to actually still keep that sense of community within the city of Rosemead. We have cultural events such as Lunar New Year, Cinco de Mayo, our global festival, which I'm curious to see how that's going to be this year. We celebrate all types of cultural holidays within here. You know, we have for Chinese New Year, we have lion dancers as well. Cinco de Mayo will have a mariachi band come out. We also have our Christmas and holiday celebration. A couple of weeks ago, we had our 4th of July celebration, which we did digitally for the first time ever, which was great turnout and a great program. And then we also have our Veterans Day, where we honor our realtors and affiliate members that are veterans as well. So we're always trying to find ways to support our members as well as make them feel appreciated for all of their achievements currently and in the past as well. So as a West San Gabriel Valley member, you have access to things that you wouldn't normally have access to. Here at the association, even though it's closed, we still have things that you could use. Flyer holders, shoe covers, which are for some reason on back order. If you want books about real estate, sign writers, gifts, pens like your realtor pen that I was referring to. We have the black and white printing that we usually do, but since the office is closed because of COVID, just like what we're all used to utilizing, you could shop online and then either pick them up and or have them shipped out for an extra fee. So you have access to things that you would need to make yourself successful, right? Most people want open house signs, even though we're not doing open houses. You still want writers that say home for sale or sold, or I can sell your home, call me. All those things that you would see other people using, you can have access to have that. So, you know, you can click on the website. That's why I say bookmark the West San Gabriel website and go to the online store to see things that you can actually utilize for your business, right? West San Gabriel is here to support you just as well as all the other realtors, experienced or not. We're all here to support each other. It's a hard time, so you know, we want to make sure that you have everything you need to be successful. So I applaud you guys for coming in at the time that you're coming in, and hope to see you succeed further in that. Right? We also have zip forms. Hopefully you guys are all familiar with zip forms. That is the electronic version of all of our contracts. As a CR member, you have access to that via your computer, via your cell phone, and via tablet or iPad. Those are completely free. You can go ahead and practice if you want. I always encourage people, if you don't know exactly what you're doing or you're trying to learn, practice. If you are bored, practice your signature using your hand. Because if you're using your iPad or tablet or smartphone, it's a finger signature. Also, we have Supra, which is the safer way to keep your vacant properties where you can keep track of who's coming in and out. We have the lock boxes and the e-key here as well. So if you want to purchase, just call the office number that's in the bottom left-hand corner. So also, if you have questions about things that you may necessarily not know about and your broker or someone is unavailable, do meet people in, you know, your new members, or even reach out to me or any other realtor. We're here to support as well. You know, I always been taught that to help yourself be better, you have to give back. So, and giving back doesn't take much effort or require anything in return. So if you need help with anything, do not hesitate to reach out to me or reach out to Brian. I know Brian's been a help to me as well since I've started as a realtor. So when part 2 comes, he has a little bit more in depth on how to actually run your business online when it comes to the MLS and things like that. But in the membership realm, you know, you could always reach out for help. So I encourage you guys to make sure you have these things. I know it's an investment for those who are new to the industry, But the good news is that these things you can keep for however long you're going to be in business. So the initial investment is high now, but the worth and reward down the line is insurmountable and priceless. Right? So we're always focused on professional development just because of the fact that we have to be consistently up to date on things, right? We are servants of our community. People are coming to us when they are not sure what to do. So if we don't know what to do, what's the point of us actually being a realtor? So if you want to focus on specific aspects of real estate, you can gather a certification that helps you be prepared to do so. Some of the certifications that you will see that are able to be obtained on your own or in a live setting, you can be a property manager, which is great. So you can help people who own investment properties. You can help them collect their rent. You can help them evict. You can help them write contracts. You can be a certified international property specialist or CIPS, which helps you sell properties in different countries. If you want to help people buy and develop land, you can help them. You can become an accredited land consultant, so you know the zoning laws in which properties that are vacant are best to build upon. An accredited buyer's rep, which allows you to have all the experience to work with buyers. A certified residential specialist, which is focusing on residential property in its own between 1 to 4 units. Then you could also become a counselor of real estate, which allows you to help people that may have some concerns about real estate, or they've had issues with, a seller or a buyer. So you have so many different routes that you can take in real estate that you can educate yourself on, right? Just like you can become a commercial investment member if you only want to work with commercial properties. So you have all of these different designations and certifications that you can gather, and there's no limit. The only person that limits how much you can learn and how many certifications you can get is yourself. So if you want to get 25 designations, go ahead. You just can't fit them all on your business card. I know me, I have about, I think I'm up to 12. So, and I'm always learning more. I'm a sponge. So, I teach a couple of them as well. So I just love being able to help people learn. And I just like learning. So, however you can help yourself be better in your business and expand your business, I encourage you to take the time to do it. And there's actually no other time better to do it than now, since we can't necessarily be in offices, and a lot of these are online and you can access them at any point in time. So I highly encourage you to go on the internet, our website, and look at the designations that you can gather online. They may have extended it, but a lot of these are free or at a high discount, like 50 to 70% off. So if you want to learn and you want to go ahead and take these, most of these classes are 3 to 6 hours of PowerPoint lectures and videos, and then you answer questions, and then you have that designation. So if you have that kind of time, which most people do, I encourage you to utilize those. So some other ones that we have, you can become an accredited appraiser, the green designation, which allows you to sell economically efficient homes and economically viable homes. It's a great thing to learn about. You can become a seller's rep if you only want to work with sellers. If you only want to work with seniors, you become a senior real estate specialist. So all of these things have things that are specific to specific categories of real estate, right? The seniors is a growing market. People are living longer, and people either want to downsize because it's a couple of them and their kids are all grown and moved out. You can target that market. You can become a vacation resort specialist as well. So those seniors that are retiring and want to move to like Palm Springs or move to San Diego, you could help them do that as well. You can become a military relocation professional. So those that are coming back home from war or want to move off base, you can focus on them if you want to be proactive and think that this pandemic and is going to cause a lot of foreclosures, you could also become a short sale specialist. So all of these unique opportunities are available to you. It's up to you to just make them happen. So if you need support, if you have questions about these, do not hesitate to reach out. I highly encourage you to do these, because also what happens is once you get these designations, you are in a database of people that have the same designations. So if you have someone from Georgia reaching out for a referral, that's another form of marketing that you didn't pay for. And you have a client that could be prepared to buy or sell that you didn't even have to market to, just because you are each one of these databases. So even if you wanted to recommend someone in another state to a realtor, all you have to do is go in these databases and you can recommend someone and help them buy in another state. So if you think about it, these are other forms of marketing that allow you to be better as a realtor. So I encourage you guys to look at these, prices of things. Some of these are free. So take those into account and utilize them as best as possible to your abilities. So we also have our commercial services that we work on. We have over 85 commercial members. We have monthly commercial seminars that focus on current and relevant topics about the commercial industry and the rights of property owners. The great thing is all of our commercial seminars are free. So you will get training on the MLS, how to use RPR, which is a realtor property resource, right? Land use, residential development, right? Because commercial is not just office space, it's not just warehouses, it is also units of residential property that are 5 units or higher. That is automatically commercial. So how to use that in the right area, how to get the full and best use of the property that you own, you will get training on that as well. We also have what we call the commercial marketplace, which is the free networking events online, obviously right now, where you could pitch those products for sale if you haven't been able to find a buyer for a warehouse, industrial space, development space, vacant land, office space, retail space, right? If you want more in depth or you want help deciding if commercial is the best route for you, do not hesitate to reach out to us. Contact information is there and we'll be glad to assist you as well. As a realtor for now almost 5 years, I think that, and I've seen that real estate has consistently evolved, right? At first, people were loving commercial. Now, I think that with a lot of businesses struggling and not necessarily using and needing the actual commercial space, there's going to be some opportunity for some unique and different things that I would love for you guys to think about taking advantage of, right? We welcome you not only as part of our family, but we want to help you sustain your career, right? I don't know about you, but I planned ever since I became a realtor to be a realtor for as long as I can be. So if I become a realtor for life, then I'm a realtor for life. So whatever we can do to assist that is what all this information is for, right? We are literally here to serve you. So we hope that you don't hesitate to ask questions, right? I was always taught the only question that is a bad question is a question that's never asked. So if you never ask a question and you have questions, that's the worst type of question. Right? So these are our 2020 board of directors. Since we are a trade organization, we have elected officials that represent what our organization is about. So currently our president right now is Mindy Ye, and Lynn Child's our vice president, and these are the rest of our directors. So Brian, who's doing part 2, is a director as well. So every association has a board of directors. So these people are elected by the members to represent us in the best way possible. They are here to help us make decisions on things that benefit the association and benefit our reputation as a member and as a realtor. So they are here to answer any questions you may have. You know, some of these people you may have seen in your offices, hopefully, or you may have seen them or you've seen their signs out. So each one of them is proud to represent our association as a director. And who knows, maybe some of you guys in the future may become directors. You know, you want to help make this association better than it already is. Even though it's already great, we always have the next level to go, the next range to be better at what we can do and how we can serve our 5 cities, our community, our state, and the country and other people that we represent. So we are currently in elections now, so that some of these faces may not be the same as 2021, which is a good thing because it allows for opportunity for new people to come in and represent the association the best way possible. But these are our current board of directors. They are acting on us to make decisions that benefit our industry and our communities as well. So every association, it doesn't matter where the association is, has committees, right? We have 2 types of committees, standing committees and special committees. Our standing committees are constant in every association across the country. And these are committees that never change or go away. So our education committee are the ones that put on our zip form training events, the ones that bring in the teachers that are certified to teach our designations, and anything that is beneficial to our industry and to your knowledge. The finance committee is a committee that focuses on money and how we spend it. Grievance is for issues that arise from realtors who may have done some questionable actions or to their knowledge or not of their knowledge. So if you study your code of ethics and you focus on things and you see something is wrong or it doesn't seem right, you would address that with the grievance committee. And they would tell you if that's right or if that's wrong and what consequences are for those actions. All right. We also have our legislative committee. The legislative committee focuses on local laws and state laws that affect the real estate industry and our realtor members. Our multiple listing service, which you'll learn about in part 2, are updating us about rules and regulations as well as things to look out for that may change from what we're used to. Professional standards, which obviously holds in regard the rules and regulations of our code of ethics of our industry in itself, not only at a local level, but if it needs to be noticed at the state level as well. Strategic planning is the committee that focuses on what this board can do to make sure that we are not only serving our members correctly, but serving the industry correctly as well. So every association has a plan for 3 years. We're in the middle of our 2020 to 2022 strategic plan and looking at some of the things that we can do to better serve our members. The special committees are committees that are here, but some of them can change, but they're also unique and different. So like our affiliates, our affiliate committee is all of those people that are beneficial and supportive of a real estate transaction. So you have your mortgage officers, you have your insurance reps, you have your escrow services, you have your title reps, right? Hopefully these are things that you guys are familiar with. Bylaws, which are the bylaws of this association, making sure that they are aligned with the bylaws of the California Association of Realtors and the National Association of Realtors. Our Global Business Council, you will learn if you haven't seen, our Global Business Council is highly, highly regarded across the country. We have been, I believe, we're going for our 7th award in a row for our Global Business Council. So that is our partnerships with other nations like Malaysia and China and Taiwan and Vietnam. So we have memos of understanding with all of these countries. and we encourage them to support us and we support them in their real estate transactions. Orientation committee, which I'm on, because we are here to help you guys make sure that you have the best foot forward in your real estate career. So we help and we update the orientation so that you are best and well informed about what it takes to become a realtor. Sergeant at Arms and Young Professionals Network, most people naturally think that that is about being young, but the Young Professional Network is about being young in business. So if you are young in the real estate business, it is highly, highly recommended that you check out a meeting, not because I'm the chair, but because it is only meant to be beneficial not only to our new people in real estate, but also to our community as well. So all of these committees are free to join. If you want information, just reach out to someone and we're here to help. Only, I would say this, if you want other ways for support and to grow your business and to help yourself learn how to be in real estate in the best way possible, I would check out a lot of these things that these committees offer, or even look at potentially join these committees, because they're only here to teach you how to be better at what you're trying to do. And if you really want to be the most sustainable realtor and have the most sustainable business, you need to know exactly what to do to maintain that sustainability and to maintain that success, especially during this time. Those that keep in business and keep their head above water are only going to keep succeeding. And that doesn't necessarily mean the high price high sales brokers. It's those that really genuinely care about the business and care about the customer and the consumer. Those are the people that will survive and thrive after this pandemic is over. So here is our staff. Each one of these are here to support. Angie, who is with me here, is our director of operations. We have accountant. We have Albert, who is our executive officer, or if you're in a normal business setting, that's our CEO. So Albert is here helping us make day-to-day decisions that benefit. So all of our staff is amazing and supportive and here to help you with reasonable requests, right? Sometimes there are things that they can't help you with because it's your responsibility to know that. And even though we have support, and you have support within your office and within your association, there's still a responsibility of you yourself to be willing to learn exactly what you need to learn about the business to succeed. So I encourage you to use your support base. And if you have questions for, say, about your Supra or about the E-Key or about your booties and you want to order that stuff, call staff. If you having trouble logging in to the MLS, call staff. If you want to talk about the business, do not call the association. Talk to your broker, talk to other realtors in the industry, because they're not the staff here is not necessarily licensed to help you with real estate. They help you with the supportive aspect, not the selling aspect. So keep that in mind. This is one of the best staffs, honestly, that I've ever dealt with. They are really caring, really funny, honestly, but they are here to help you with those types of things. So if you get an email from them, that is where that's coming from. But keep in mind the difference between association and brokerage. Sometimes that gets lost in the whirlwind and think that they know things that others may or are expected to know. All right. So I've mentioned before about our affiliates. Our affiliates are aspects of the industry that most people don't notice. I've learned that in every real estate transaction, you are providing between 30 and 40 jobs to people, right? If you need an attorney, if the seller has potentially died or it's a trust that's purchasing or selling, you need a lender, so a loan officer. You need title to make sure that there are no tax issues or liens, or making sure that you are doing the right transaction for the right person. If John says that he owns this house, but he's not on record, it's actually to Susie. Who is Susie to John? They're not married. John can't act on regard of Susie. So you could have done all this work for nothing. Escrow, health and wellness, which is crucial, especially during this time. Our insurance, your home warranty, your home inspector, right? Plumbing, if you need that. You know, you have so many different aspects that go into selling and buying a home that most people don't realize. You need each and every one of these to succeed and to make sure your transaction goes well and you can get paid. So I encourage you guys to look at our affiliate directory. They're all great and wonderful people in their aspect of business, and they're all supportive of you. So we ask that you support them in return during the real estate transactions. So they're in our Thursday morning meetings. You can see them, you can introduce yourself, you can talk to them. So I encourage you to do that. Most of you guys aren't in offices anymore, but they would be present in offices as well. So I encourage you to learn from them, take their advice, have them help you in whichever way possible so that you are set up for success. So as a member of the California Association of Realtors, you are a part of the actual organization, right? There's about almost 200,000 licensed realtors in the state of California alone. California has the biggest contingent of realtors out of all 50 states. We represent about 11% of all realtors in the United States. So think about that. There's a little bit under 2 million realtors, and in this one state alone represents 200,000 of those. So we represent 11%. There's 100 local associations in 32 regions. We're in region 16. So as a trade group, you have, naturally conferences and meetings. We do 3 meetings a year. If it wasn't COVID, it would either be, one would be in Northern California, which is Sacramento. That's usually in April. Anaheim, which was in February. And then this year would have been Long Beach. But since COVID happened, it has been officially announced that it is virtual and it is free. So it's free to all members, right? You all can show up, all take advantage of the business meeting, which is virtual. So you can see exactly what a business meeting is like from your home. Most people would usually have to commute to do that. You don't have to do that. You can stop in at whatever point you want and learn about issues that are affecting the whole state that you can bring back to your clients and use that as a marketing advantage. There are vendors that we partner with, so you could even get deals on business services for your real estate business, and it's just a unique experience. So now I'm curious to see how we're going to do it virtually, because we've usually only done this in person, right? 2 numbers that I encourage you guys to have saved into your phone. The California Association of Realtor customer service line. So if you're having issues logging in, you're having issues with your name being present, if it's spelled wrong or anything like that, you need help with your address. But the legal hotline is probably the most important phone number to have outside of client and prospect numbers. The CAR legal hotline, it is free legal advice from licensed attorneys that CAR has as employees. So if you are in an issue with a transaction and you are unsure what to do, first thing I would do is dial that number, because what they do is they give advice to the first person that calls on that transaction. So if you are representing the seller and there is an issue and you call before the buyer's agent calls, The legal hotline will only give you legal advice on what to do. They will not take the call from the buyer's agent and vice versa. So they only give advice to the first person on record that calls during the transaction. They will tell the other person, hey, I can't help you. You might need to find a lawyer or another real estate lawyer. And this is free with your membership. So I highly encourage you guys to save these two numbers in your phone, put them in your favorites, whatever. If you're planning on doing large amounts of transactions or even a couple of transactions, you want to stay ahead of the game. So if you even want, as soon as you hit escrow, dial that number and be like, hey, look, I'm going in escrow on this house. I want to make sure that if issues arise, I can call you guys for questions. Even if they just accepted the offer, dial the legal hotline. So that puts you in place so that if something does happen, you are prepared and ready to know exactly what to do. If you need to go to arbitration, if you need to report the violation, all of that, all your legal advice will be given to only you. So if you had interesting encounters with the other agent on the other side, don't disparage them. Just be supportive, but call the legal hotline at the same time. So I also encourage you guys to have car.org bookmarked on your laptop as well. So legal hotline, one of the most useful numbers to any one of us as a realtor, right? We also have the National Association of Realtors. There are 54 state associations, and we're in the 13th region. So like I said, this is the National Association, so these are all 2 million realtors. There are 2 National Association events a year. Usually legislative is in DC, and that's during the second week of May, which is a pretty good week, by the way. And you have the Realtor Conference and Expo. This recent one, as you see, it was in San Francisco, which was in October. Kind of disappointed about this. This year it was going to be in New Orleans. But since COVID happened, it is now digital. So I was really excited to go to New Orleans, but now I have to go to New Orleans in my living room. So COVID's kind of ruining my 2020 as far as my travel plans for real estate. But these are also very great to go to. They're free as well, especially now since it's virtual. There's a lot of things that you'll get to see that we are trying to work on to benefit the industry as well, or what is coming across that may help or hinder how we do our business in the future. So you guys are coming in at a great time to be able to soak up a lot of information easier than others. So I encourage you guys to, be on these virtual events, take into them, and bring that information back to your clients so that you're prepared and they can look at you as the best realtor for their needs. So the Realtor Political Action Committee, as a trade group, naturally we are in one of the largest trade groups, may I add, by the way. We're the second largest trade group in the United States. First one is almost a play on our abbreviation, but it's the NRA, the National Rifle Association. Then it is the National Association of Realtors. So the Realtor Political Action Committee, we call it RPAC. You guys will learn that we don't like saying full things. We use abbreviations. The Realtor Political Action Committee, which is a lot to say, raises and spends money to elect candidates who understand and support the interests of us, the realtor, right? So that comes from voluntary contributions from our pockets, right? These are not dues. This is money that you decide to give on your own because you want to support those who help us stay in business, to help us help more people, right? We don't buy votes, which is something I want to make absolutely clear. We don't bribe people. We only support people that help our industry maintain what it needs to survive, right? That's rules, regulations, zoning codes, all those types of things. We only support those that support us, right? So it allows us to, do things that are pushed forward and keeping our profession here for 20, 30, 50 years on end and maintain our livelihood, right? With any organization, the one thing we always have to worry about is our reputation. So we are focusing on people that matter and that are running for office that care about our reputation and care about not just us as a trade group, but us as people, right? Because outside of realtors, people forget that we're normal people. We have families, right? We have kids, we have dogs, we have pets, we have homes, right? We have all these things. And to get that personal aspect into it as well are only the people that we allow to support us. So the way that we support them is by donating to their campaigns. So here's a short video.
The issues change, but they never end. We fight something and we are victorious in that fight, and 2 years later we find that it's back on the ballot. We have to constantly fight that battle, even sometimes behind the scenes where our members aren't really realizing we're still fighting that battle every day.
Whether it be flood insurance or interest rates or FEMA, property taxes, capital gains, 1031 exchanges, they all impact some aspect of our business. Taxes on services, things that we oppose. RPAC helps us fight for those issues.
The issues that we fight are constantly evolving and changing. Every year it's something new. We can never give up. We can never slow down. We have to always be there and be present and make sure that our voices are heard.
You can have everyone being happy. You can almost see the finish line. You never know when that one unexpected thing's going to happen that's going to change everything. And investing in RPAC helps you be at the table to fix it when it does.
As issues started affecting my business, my investments grew. And the more that I learned about it, the more I wanted to be involved.
Get involved, whatever level you can, whether it be $15 level or $30 level. It makes a difference, and you'll start seeing the results. You'll become engaged and help our legislators and elected officials understand that you care about the issues and want to make it a better environment for real estate.
So the RPAC allows us to have a voice in real estate. So you have member benefits. It's really here just to help us as fellow realtors and our communities and make sure we're here for the future, right? If you haven't noticed or realized, real estate is one of the industries that are constantly attacked by outside people, disruptors, political people. So it is an industry that is in high regard, but also undervalued and underserved. So we try to make sure that they know exactly what we do, what we stand for, and how we are beneficial to our communities. So that's what the Political Action Committee does at the national level. Even at the local level, you have realtors that help on school boards, planning commissions, all these things to make sure that our neighborhoods and our communities that we live in are thriving and functional in the best way possible. Not for a dollar amount, right? Not for our pocketbooks, but for the benefit of the community, right? And that's the thing that gets overlooked a lot. So these are just exactly what some of the pledge cards look like. We do something a little bit different. Those are high, dollar amounts that we're asking from you, but we do smaller amounts because that small amount still makes a difference, right? In California, it's called the Realtor Action Fund, right? So our Realtor Action Fund, which is the state of California, is helping organized real estate be represented in the halls of government. So we raise money, right, through voluntary donations to advance the goals of our RPACs, right? Local, state, and federal level. So we have money and we give money to support and oppose candidates who fight, understand, or don't understand our issues, right? Because our issues are not just our issues. They're everybody's issues, right? Renters, property owners, property sellers, those who try to own property, those are all of our issues. So being the second largest trade group, we can fight for their issues as well. So the more people we have supporting those issues or opposing those issues, the more people that, you know, these officials who may not be as in touch as we hope can understand and see. All right, so this is our forum. All right, we encourage most people and everyone to contribute the introductory level, which is $20. All right, $20 gets you so far to make sure that you are trying to maintain and keep stability in this industry. If I told you that your $20 would go to keep you in this business for 10 years, I don't know who else would just raise their hand and be like, I can do that for 20 bucks, right? One less Starbucks run a week. Okay, 20 bucks to keep and maintain my livelihood in this industry. I would definitely do that. So I encourage you guys to donate, or let me say this right, contribute to the Realtor Action Fund, because it's not just for political, it's to help you maintain sustainability as a realtor. It's one of the first steps for you to maintain that you're going to be here for a while, all right? You maintain, hopefully, that you are here for home ownership, not because of the dollar aspect, but for the aspect of helping people. So I encourage you guys to donate voluntarily to the Realtor Action Fund. All right. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news. Last month, one of the things that happened was a realtor was attacked on a private appointment for a house that she was selling. She was in a hospital for a couple of weeks, has some severe injuries that, you know, may affect her for the rest of her life. So one of the things that is important to us is realtor safety. So we have a lot of resources to help you stay safe when you are out here, you know, helping clients with appointments, with showings. Obviously, we're not doing regular open houses, but we're still doing things that are front and facing our community. So we encourage you to plan and have a safety strategy, not just for a normal open house, but for during COVID, right? How far out are your appointments? Are you making sure that the agents coming in are sanitizing and wearing gloves and masks, and their clients are having gloves, masks, booties, if you're requiring booties, or barefoot? Are they doing that? Is your signs posted? Is the sign that you are taking your buyers to posted? Because if you haven't heard, California law says for showing a house or taking a client to see a house, there has to be a COVID sign posted outside the door about the regulations and requirements to enter that property. All right. So you have to walk in with a mask. You can only come in 2 at a time. So you must make sure that you have those things. All right. I know this is going to change our industry, this pandemic, but before that, we would usually require, you know, or encourage you to have certain safety techniques doing an open house. You know, walking behind the, you know, if somebody's coming in the view, you walk behind them. You don't walk in front of them. All right, you get their name and information, you confirm identity. All of these different things. But we have all of these courses that help you maintain your safety. Right? Because the one thing we don't want is to lose or have a realtor affected by actions of other people. Right? Because they were unknowledgeable about that. It's one of the things we don't want to deal with. I don't know about you, but losing a realtor to an attack at an open house is just disheartening, in my opinion. Right? So I encourage you guys to stay updated on that, as well as take the Safety Matters course on NAR. It is completely free. Right? September is Realtor Safety Month. We usually would have a self-defense instructor here. Obviously, during COVID, we probably won't be able to do that, or we might do that at a later date. But do know how to protect yourself. And if I were you guys, if you were doing showings, I would not, ladies, bring in a purse. Do not bring your purse in to do private showings. Men, don't bring in wallets. You don't need your wallet. There's no necessary need, right? If you can't confirm identity, don't bring anything that could be stolen. Bury it in your car so that nobody can find it. Just personal rules. I've heard of people, having credit cards taken. If you are representing a seller and are doing private showings, make sure there are no valuables around so that you don't run the risk of having to pay for that. Because if you have a seller and, they're still living in the house and there's a pair of diamond earrings, right? And the diamond earrings are gone after showings, first person they're going to ask what happened to them is you. And if you can't find them, you're responsible to pay for them. So I encourage you guys, practice realtor safety, take the course, watch the videos, download the apps, do the small things to ensure yourself to be successful, right?
As a real estate professional, you are in a unique position that most working professionals never face. In your business, you often share your contact information openly with others, meet unknown clients, and walk through vacant properties, to name a few. It's because of the unique nature of this business that it's critical for all real estate professionals to have personal safety protocols in place that you follow every day, with every client, every time. So what kind of safety protocols should you implement into your daily routine? Here are a few to consider. When meeting a client for the first time, do not meet a new client at a property right away without first having an initial meeting at your office or a public space, like a coffee shop. During the initial meeting, make copies or take photos of the client's driver's license and pre-approval letter for your records. This precaution allows you to keep a record at the office of who your clients are, their information, and a calendar of appointments. When first meeting with a new client, you should discuss the types of real estate they're interested in and walk them through the safety protocols you have in place for all clients. Now you can arrange showings, meet them at properties, and schedule open houses to help them through the biggest financial decision of their life. When viewing a property, it's okay to ask your client to drive separately. This is a safety precaution for you as much as it is for them. Not to mention you might both have appointments to go to before or afterward.
Hey, this is cute.
As you tour a property, walk behind your client. This routine safety measure allows them to see the room first and make their own impressions. Many agents do not go into attics, garages, or basements as an additional safety measure. But encourage your client to look around and let you know what they think. It is a safe practice to only show vacant properties which might not have electricity during daylight hours. This allows you to see what safety hazards may exist, like a loose floorboard or any defects the house may have.
It's got potential.
When holding an open house, advise your clients to board their pets and remove jewelry, family photos, credit card receipts, artwork, prescription drugs, and any other valued possessions from the home in advance of the open house. This is just one way to look out for your client and to keep their property and belongings secure. Keep a record of who entered the house by asking everyone who walks in the door to sign in with their name and phone number or show a photo ID. There is something to be said about safety in numbers. Consider bringing along a colleague when holding an open house. If there are several potential buyers walking through the home, even better to have 2 agents on hand to answer questions and keep an eye on things. Safety is an important part of real estate. Be prepared and follow the protocols and processes that have been put in place to keep you and your clients safe. For more information and additional resources, visit www.nar.realtor/safety.
So now, since we have gone out of safety, next thing we are focusing on is the code of ethics, right? These are exactly everything that you need to follow to maintain a positive reputation as well as maintain your ability to sell real estate. All right, our code of ethics breaks down into 3 separate categories. First one is the duty to clients and customers. Second is the duties to the public. Last is duties to other realtors, like from you guys to me. So Articles 1 through 9, we have 19 articles for the Code of Ethics. All right. Articles 1 through 9 are your duties to clients and customers. First off, you must make sure that you put your clients first because you represent them. It's your responsibility to do what is best in their favor because you represent them. You don't represent the other side, you represent them. Make sure that all issues are aware so that clients make the best informed decision about the property. All right. You don't want the square footage to be wrong by like 3,000 feet. That's exaggeration. You don't want to have things that are important to them making their decision be withheld, nor do you want any misrepresentation. All right. You also want to make sure that the other realtor on the other side does not misrepresent the availability to show. So if they posted property is available to show Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, all right, when it's really only available Saturday, 1 to 2, that's misrepresentation of availability to show. When you are talking to potential clients, you have to make sure they know that you are a licensed realtor. You have to detail that. So if you're going to market that in an ad, you have to say you're a licensed realtor. So that means posting your license number. All right. If you are an investor yourself and you end up working with a client and you see the property, you want to buy it, you need to let your client know that you're interested in this property as well. No secret profits between you and the other agents. If you are going to represent both sides of the transaction, disclose everything. But also, if you're only representing one side, disclose everything. Make sure everybody is aware of everything that potentially affects this transaction, good or bad. Because you withhold one thing, that could affect this whole transaction. That affects your reputation. That also affects the decision for the customer to buy or not. Right? You have to do what is best for the person that you represent at all times. You also have duties to the public, fair housing. That is a really hot topic. I'm not going to get into that because I can be on this for a long time. But make sure you do not try to tell people where to live. Right? Naturally, realtors do it unwillingly. Like they just do it naturally. They'll say, hey, I'm not really sure about that neighborhood. Let the client make the decision for themselves. But inform them when they want to make the best decision for themselves. Inform them that they should view the property at all times of day. And I tell this for every client. I highly encourage you to see the property as close to early morning as possible, the middle of the day, and after the sun sets. Because those are the 3 most important times that you are probably home. So you want to see what that's like. And if it's okay for you, then buy the house or let me help you buy the house. Professional competency. You must make sure that you are able to do the basic things that this business requires. All right? You have to make sure that you could do exactly what it takes to succeed in this business. You have to make sure that you are not deceiving the customer by picturing, if you're going to do marketing, a true and accurate picture. If it's not your listing, you got to say it's not your listing. Right? If it's your listing, make sure the pictures actually look like the house. All right. If something that you worried about is legal or not, just don't do it. Just don't. And you have a duty to cooperate with professional standards. Of course, right? Then lastly, we have our duties to other realtors. I cannot tell clients false or things that may mislead them about Daniel to Daniel's client. I can't do that. I can't post negative things about a realtor on Facebook. All right? I can't post that on LinkedIn. I could post frustration about what may be going on during a transaction without using names, but I cannot disparage someone either verbally or online. All right? I also can't interfere with a client-realtor relationship. And the thing that I don't think people realize, this happens a lot. If you are in a transaction and you represent the seller, the buyer's agent cannot contact the seller. If they want to have questions or they need something answered or they need help, they contact the seller's agent, not the seller themselves. And if you're a seller, you cannot contact the buyer themselves. You have to contact the buyer's agent. All right? And if there's issues about commission, it is your responsibility and you have a duty to potentially go to arbitration. All right? We'll go a little bit more in depth in that in part 2 when it comes to arbitration and posted commission rules. But you have that duty. That is your responsibility. All right? If you feel like you're being underpaid for this transaction, bring it up. But do realize that you guys are responsible for the negotiation of that as well. So keep that in mind. All right. Surprisingly, since we are in person, usually there will be more questions. We finished this a little bit earlier, but does anybody have any questions on any of the material that we have gone over so far? Just raise your hand in the actual system or type your question and I will answer it. So if a client's agent doesn't answer or do not return calls or emails, first thing I would do if I were you, call the office, call their broker. Because anytime you enter into a escrow or a transaction, they have to put their office name. You could just Google the office and call the number and say, hey, whoever answers, I need to speak to the broker on record. And they'll directly, send you to the broker on record, and you could contact the broker and be like, hey, I have a client, or we're in escrow on a property. I can't reach your agent. Can you reach your agent for me? And let them know what's going on. You have that right. Right? So I encourage you to do that, because if the broker doesn't like the actions, then the broker can fire the agent from their company. How soon do you need to complete the NAR ethics course to qualify for the orientation refund? I believe it's within 60 days. I would highly encourage you to just do it. It's about an hour and a half at most. The sooner the better. It also depends on when you actually registered for, like when you applied to be a member. Since we haven't had an orientation since COVID started, I believe we're giving everybody an extra 2 months after today. Let me confirm and I'll get that. Anybody else have questions so far? Don't worry, I know I've thrown a lot of information at you in an hour, but it's a kind of an introduction to real estate. right? You are expected to learn and know a bunch of stuff. But all of this stuff helps you become a better realtor. All right. So do not hesitate to ask questions. Trying to think if there's anything else that I left out. Did I leave anything out? I don't think so. But again, I want to welcome you guys to the West San Gabriel family. You are definitely, and I hope you guys are excited as I am to have you guys a part of this association. It's amazing. People here are great. Again, like I said, if there's anything that you may need or anything that I could help you out with, let me know. I personally like helping people. It is online. You can do it at any time. There's no like do it from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. It's you just log in and the class is there. So also remember that you do have to stick around for part 2. All right. So I'd like to welcome you guys all again. Hopefully at some point when it's safe, I get to meet a couple of you or all of you at some point. Thanks for letting me teach part 1. And again, like to welcome you to the West San Gabriel family. So part 1 is done. We usually allow a break in between so that you guys can stretch, grab water, grab food. Usually we would take a photo. This is a photo from one of our prior orientation classes, but who knows how we may take a photo. We may ask you guys at the end to go ahead and, turn on your cameras and take a massive one through Zoom. But thank you guys. Again, welcome, and we'll see you soon.
It's 10:15. Let's go ahead and take a 15-minute break if everyone can resume come back to the computers at 10:30. We will start part 2. Thank you.
Okay, good morning. The time is now 10:30 on my clock, so I will get the multiple listing part 2 started. My name is Brian Chen. It is my great pleasure to be spending the next 2 hours with you. So since we started promptly at 10:30, my goal is to get everything done by 12:30 or earlier if we could. I have 36 slides to go through, and I'll be talking to you on each slide and give you a lot of information about what is a multiple listing service and why is it so important, okay? I always begin my session with a little bit backdrop to history. What does that mean? That's imagine. Because multiple listing service, believe it or not, it is an optional service. What does that mean? That means a broker can opt out of the multiple listing service, okay? And throughout the years, in the past, we do have some members threaten to pull out of the MLS, but later on they find out that MLS is such an important portion of their daily business for their agents that they cannot pull out. But theoretically, they can pull out of multiple listing service and stop subscribing it, and therefore do not submit their listings into the MLS. But as you know today, just about everyone is a member of the MLS. But let's think about it. The days before MLS, there's no centralized location to host all of the listing data. And listing information is only exists on the walls of each individual real estate office. So if you work for a real estate company that have 300 agents, you have more listings information readily available. If you work for a small company, mom and pop, with 5 agents, you have a much smaller information base. And then what you have to do is you have to drive around to look at the house signs and then call that office and talk to them and negotiate an agreement to share commission, because without an MLS, there is no pre-agreed commission. So one very important function of the MLS is to agree that when I post my listing into the computer system, how much am I offering commission to the other side? So you have to, and all of us, we have to remember, we have to double check what commission we are promised, because there is no set limit. There's never a standard, 2.0, 2.5, 3.0, 3.5. There's never a standard. And therefore, there are listings in our MLS that may offer $50 to the cooperating agent. Some of them may even offer just $1, okay? And unfortunately, that's what they offer. And if you want to submit offers to those kind of listings, then you have to renegotiate how much you want to get paid with the seller, directly with the seller, okay? So, let me see. Okay, so before MLS, pre-MLS days means before MLS days. Information are done by word of mouth. Okay, can you guys see my cursor? Angie, can you see my arrow when I use my arrow to point?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. As you can see, words of mouth, then you argue to each other about how much commission you want to share, okay? Then you work yourself to death during escrow, okay? And then at the end, you deposit the little money that you earned into the bank, and then the cycles start all over again. This used to be the old cycle. That's no longer the case. Why? Because we now formed MLS to share information, to share data, and to share commission, posted, okay, posted on this computer system. So what is an MLS? The function of the MLS is an extension of each association. And because you're a member of the West San Gabriel Valley Realtors, the MLS is an extension of our member services, okay? It is a means of making a blanket unilateral offer of compensation, meaning the listing agent. When a listing agent input the listing into the computer, they have to type in how much they're offering to the cooperating agent, okay? That's called a CSO, compensation to selling office, okay? CSO. And you can find it in the MLS listing information, okay? It also helps facilitating an orderly correlation and dissemination of listing information, because you input all of the information about the property into the computer. So anyone at any time they look at on the computer system should be able to know just about everything that needs to be known about this particular property. So theoretically, if a listing agent do a good job inputting information into the MLS, okay, anyone looking at the MLS information can do a good job marketing that property to their client, So I hate it when I see a listing where the description of the property is just one line. There's hardly anything said about the property, okay? I actually come across with one listing where my agent showed it to me, said, what is this? Because I don't allow that kind of listing to go into the MLS. But the property description is completely blank. There's no description. So nobody have any idea of anything about this property. And on the photo, it's just one photo from the street. There's no interior photo. So we have no idea what this property looks like. As a result, many of my agents don't even bother showing that property because they imagine that must be so ugly, so terrible that the listing agent don't want to show any photos. See? So listing agent, be alert. MLS is your first advertising avenue to advertise your listing to all the other agents. So if you want a lot of people to come see it, do a good job describing your property in the MLS, okay? And of course, the byproduct of the MLS to help agents to provide better service to their clients and to the public. Why to the public? MLS listing information are disseminated to website portals. There is currently about 27 website portals that listing public information goes out so that member of the public can also go to websites and look at properties, okay? Who can join? Who can join MLS? Any licensed California DRE licensed agent can join, but agent must join under a broker because remember, you're a salesperson license, only broker can join, and then you join that office, you can subscribe to the MLS. That's why the broker is the participant and the salesperson, okay, is a subscriber. They are a subscriber of the MLS. You pay a monthly fee for the access. Okay. Our association offers weekly breakfast meetings. We used to offer in-house face-to-face meetings, but due to the current COVID-19 situation, we're holding virtual MLS meetings every Thursday, starting at 9 a.m. Starting at 9 a.m., okay? And all of our live classes have also been converted to virtual classes, all in-person special events at West San Gabriel Valley Realtors headquarters, or any kind of off-site events are temporarily postponed due to the COVID-19. But you remember, when everything reopens and the board reopens our meeting room for our network meetings every Thursday morning, okay? It used to be 8:30, okay? So when we resume, we may go back to 8:30, or we may adopt the new 9 o'clock meeting, because we start at 9 o'clock nowadays because we bypass the property announcements, which means broker open house announcements, new listings announcements, okay? Those are bypassed. So we start the meeting at 9 o'clock. The normal meeting starts at 8:30, okay? Normal meeting starts at 8:30, but due to COVID-19, we only start at 9 o'clock without the broker open house and without the property broadcasting features of the MLS breakfast meeting, okay? And we also have a commercial. We also have a commercial networking meeting every second Tuesday of each month from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., okay? And of course, right now, the live meetings are suspended due to COVID-19, as you can see on the screen. The COVID-19 has interrupted a lot of the normal business activities, and real estate is also affected by it. But that doesn't mean real estate activity stops. We still have a lot of transactions going on. And as you can see in the recent housing market release, our sale price are actually increasing right now. Our median home price are increasing right now, okay? So that means we have a lower inventory, higher demand. So what happened to the price? Inventory is low, demand is high, everybody overbids, the price is going up, okay? So that's our current real estate market right now. And some of my agents says, who is buying homes during COVID-19? I always tell my agent, the serious buyers, okay? Those people who are just looking for fun, they're not out looking at properties. But the people who are actually making appointments and want to see the inside of the properties, they are the serious buyers. They're ready, willing, and able to buy, okay? And because of this, many listing agents will actually have a rule says, show me the pre-approval of mortgage loans and show me the proof of funds before you make an appointment to see the property. Why? They want to limit the exposure to the property to the general public. In a COVID-19 situation, every time you show the property, anytime a stranger steps into the property, there is a chance, a slight chance, but a chance nevertheless, that that person may be infected with COVID-19 virus, okay? We don't know. We're doing all the precaution that we can to help eliminate that possibility, but it doesn't mean it's 100% foolproof. And everybody have to understand that. Seller have to understand that, buyer have to understand that. Everybody, we're living in a pandemic situation, and as long as you're stepping out of your house, there's a good chance, I mean, there is not a good, there is a slight chance that you may be contracted with, infected with a COVID-19 virus. So I do have some agents in my office during the last 3 months, they just stay home, they don't do any business. That's because they sold a lot of properties before and they're comfortable, and that's their choice. As an independent contractor, you have a business decision to make, what you want to do with your business, okay? There are businesses that completely shut down. Restaurants, for example, restaurants. You see a lot of restaurants are completely shut down. They don't even do any takeout business. And yet you see a lot of restaurants, what they do is they open for what? Takeout orders, right? Same thing, real estate agents, you are independent contractors. You make your own business decisions. That's all I can offer you as advice on COVID-19. And when you do want to do business, buyer's agent, keep keep some of your important preventative stocks in your car, ready and available, such as hand sanitizers, okay, masks, gloves, okay, gloves, and shoe covers, because you want to use that for your client when you step into a house, okay? So be ready and be able to do business wisely and safely during pandemic. There's still a lot of sales going on. My office alone last month closed almost 97 homes, closed listings, escrows. We closed 97. So I know there is still a lot of sales going on. Why? Many of my agents are saying, I made an offer and all of a sudden there's 13 offers to compete with me, okay? What can I do to get it accepted? I said, tell your buyer to increase the price, because we're receiving multiple counter offers, highest and best price, highest and best price. And still there are some buyers in their mind say, I'm a cash buyer, I should have a 5% discount on the listing price. You're not gonna get it. If you have this kind of mentality, you're not gonna get it. Why? Because the seller will always sell at a higher price. That's the way it is, okay? Now, every once in a while, we as agents do get into disputes with another agent. Maybe a complaint that the agent has acted unfair or unethical, and we have been hurt by it, and therefore I'm mad as hell and I'm gonna get even. Fine. We do have dispute resolution services available at the association. We have grievance committee to review your complaint, and once they find that your complaint and the items that you have cited, the rules and regulations you have cited, do fit the complaint, we will forward your complaint to the professional standards committee to schedule for a hearing, to schedule for professional standards hearing. Okay, that is on ethics complaints, and the fines levied is called ethic violation fines, okay? But if you have a dispute between you and the listing agent regarding commission disputes, anything involving money, it has to go through arbitration. So you may have two complaints simultaneous. You have an ethics complaint against the listing agent, or the listing agent may have an ethics complaint against you, okay? And at the same time, you guys may be involved in a commission dispute. So you may have simultaneously two complaints, and each complaints are handled completely separate and independent of each other. In other words, if you win an ethics complaint against a listing agent, when you go to the arbitration hearings, you cannot say, oh, he's guilty of violating ethics, therefore I win. No, you still have to prove your case independently. Okay, you still have to prove your case. Why do you think there is money disputes, and why you think you should get more money? Okay, so those are two different kinds of hearings, two different kinds of proceedings, completely independent of each other. Okay, but dispute resolution, there is a solution at the local association. One thing that we do not hear about money disputes is between you and your broker. Between you and your brokers, the association cannot get involved with a money dispute. Why? Because legally, all commission belongs to the broker. And therefore, if you have a commission dispute between you and your brokers, the only way you can resolve that is through the court system. If the dispute is less than $10,000, you can take the broker to the small claims court. If not, if it's higher than the small claims limit, then you have to get an attorney to represent you and go through the normal lawsuits against the broker, okay? That's the only time the board cannot help you, okay? Anytime you have anything against another agent or another company, yes, the board can intervene and take your complaints, okay? Now, before you file ethics complaint, when you call the association, we have added another service called ombudsman service. Ombudsman service. That is before you file an official complaint. You come to the board and said, I have a problem with Brian Chen, okay, of Pinnacle Real Estate Group. And the board will assign your complaint to a ombudsman. The ombudsman will call you and ask what seems to be the problem. The ombudsman will then call Brian Chen to say there is a complaint against you at the board, and let's see if we can resolve this before we go into the grievance complaint and professional standards hearing or even arbitration hearings, okay? So that is what we call a private, independent, you know, almost like a mediation. That's non-binding. Remember, ombudsmans are non-binding, okay? So ombudsman service is also available. So you can elect to have an ombudsman get involved. Some people don't want the ombudsman to get involved. Why? They don't want to tip the other side off, okay? They want to go directly to complaints and let the other guy know that there is a complaint filed against them, okay? That's fine. That's also members' rights. You do not have to take the ombudsman service. It is only an optional service available to you as a member benefit, because we find that many disputes are actually just someone getting mad at somebody. He never returns my call, blah, blah, blah. And then I contact the other side, and the other side will say, oh, that's because, you know, I was, you know, I actually had someone who says I was in China. I was in China and I could not receive any emails because my email is Gmail, and my phone service, I changed to a local phone service while I was in China. And those are legitimate answers. I will relate that information and let the other side decide whether or not they want to go through ethics complaints, okay? So, but many of times, it actually gets quickly resolved. Small problems can get quickly resolved through the help of an ombudsman go between the two people, okay? So, just remember, arbitration has something to do with money. So money goes through arbitration. You go through the same professional standards committee hearings, and committee, it becomes the arbitrators. 3 people sit there and decide. You present your case to them. If you have an ethics complaint, it goes through grievance committee to review your ethics complaint to make sure it is complete and it fits. It fits the complaint. That's the area you're citing. Then it gets sent over to professional standards committee hearing, okay? Remember, because these 2 proceedings are completely independent of each other, you will not get the same people sitting on both sides, okay? In other words, if you have an ethics complaint and the professional standards committee assigned 3 panelists to hear on your professional standards ethics complaint hearings, those 3 people will be removed from the pool. When you have the arbitration, it will be another completely different 3 people to hear your case. And believe me, all hearings are confidential. In other words, the 3 people who heard your case in professional standards committee will not communicate with any other panel, potential panelists about the case, because we don't want to cause a situation where we become unbiased. I mean, we become biased. So we have to be an unbiased, independent, neutral hearing panel, okay? And anyone who has ever done business with you before, and anyone who ever worked with you, either currently in the same office or prior in a different office, they will be disqualified from hearing your cases, okay? So you will always have a panelist of neutral people. Okay. And disciplinary, from time to time, if you're convicted by a court for a felony or any crime involving moral turpitude. Moral turpitude crimes means what? You stole people's money, you embezzled money, you kept people's money, okay? Or you're caught stealing, okay? And any kind of theft, fraud, okay? You know, and recently I've even heard of crimes like drunk driving. Drunk driving because it's a public safety crime. If you're a drunk driver, you can cause your buyer some problem if you're driving drunk. So, you know, but if you get convicted of those kind of cases, and if the DRE, okay, remember, the DRE have to, if they revoke your license because of that, once your real estate license is revoked, your membership here at the West San Gabriel Valley is immediately terminated, okay? Well, I would like to call it suspended, okay? Because if your DRE license is restored, you come back to the board, say, I do have a real estate license, I can practice real estate again, we can reactivate your membership, okay? So just remember, if your license is revoked, your membership dues, I mean, your membership benefits and rights are immediately terminated. That means you can no longer go to the CRMLS to look for listings. You cannot use your zip form because it's all terminated, okay? So, when's the best time to get your license terminated, you ask? I do get asked that kind of weird question. And I always tell people, the best time to get your license revoked is in December. Why? You're at the end of the year. You haven't paid the next year's dues yet, right? So you're at the end of the year, your license gets suspended, you don't have to pay the next year's due. When is the worst time to get your license suspended? It's in January. you just pay your annual dues for 2020. And then by January 25th, you received a letter, okay, from DRE saying your license suspended. When your license suspended, your membership is automatically terminated. Okay, so that's the worst kind. Why? You just pay for your whole year's membership. And by the way, once you pay your membership dues, there is no refund. At least that was the last policy that was established. There is no refund. So you pay your whole year's membership dues and you cannot conduct business. Too bad, so sad. Okay, so anyway, that was meant to be a joke, but I can't see anybody, so I don't know if you guys are laughing with me or not, okay? Sometimes I've been told I have a morbid sense of humor, but hey, that's Brian, right? Everybody's got a sense of humor. Mine is a little bit morbid, right? When you're at the association meetings, or anytime you're conducting association business, or you're conducting real estate business, you have to beware of the antitrust laws. Beware of the antitrust law, which is also called the Sherman Act, okay? And what is considered conspiracy is when two or more people agreeing to do something against another real estate professional. For example, I remember back in the 1990s, late 1990s, when virtual real estate office came along. Remember Zip Realty, okay? They only exist in the internet. They don't have a real estate office. So anytime you do business with them, you have to send them emails and, you know, and wait for their reply. So a lot of agents don't feel comfortable. Why? Because they feel like they can never get a hold of their manager. If there's something wrong with the agent and something wrong with the transaction and the agent is refusing to cooperate, we usually call the other side's broker and try to get some cooperation. And there is nobody to call, okay? People only do business by email. And if they don't respond to your email, you don't do business, right? So what happened? There were some big brokers, and these are factual cases, okay? Large brokerage franchises. Two of them got together, says, we will not do business with Zip Realty. Anytime we have a listing, and if the offer is sent from a Zip Realty agent, we will not agree to it, okay? What happened? Zip Realty went to the Department of Justice and filed a lawsuit, okay, to complain about these two very big and very famous franchises. And the Department of Justice come in and says, you have violated the antitrust law. And they had a hearing, and each one of those franchises got fined up to about $25 million fine from the from the DOJ, Department of Justice. So remember, there is antitrust laws, okay? And two people getting together is already a crime. It's called conspiracy with two or more people right here, okay? So do not standardize commissions. There was another case. There was another case when there's 5 large brokers and says, we get together and say, we will charge standard commission of 6%, okay? And together, those 5 realtors, brokers, controlled about 65% of the marketplace. So when homeowners want to negotiate on the commissions, they can't, because their agent says, we're bound by rules and agreements with everybody here. Our standard commission is 6%. Guess what? DOJ also stepped in and broke that up and fined everybody involved, because there is no standard commission. All commissions are negotiable between clients and brokers. All commissions are negotiable, okay? So remember that. Let's talk about MLS data and system. At the West San Gabriel Valley Realtors, we are a member of the California Regional MLS, California Regional MLS. And that's their formal name, California-Regional MLS, Multiple Listing Service. And CRMLS, they're acronyms, abbreviations, okay? CRMLS is the largest MLS system and service providers in the United States. They are the largest by far, okay? And CRMLS support hours, if you ever need their customer service support, their phone number is right here, okay? You guys can print screen or whatever. And their hours of service are Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. So weekdays, 8:30 to 9. Weekends, Saturday and Sundays, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. They stay open on weekends just in case you're in the middle of doing business on weekend, and at least you have somebody to call when you experience some problem on the MLS, okay? So remember, weekdays, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Weekends is 10:30 to 3 p.m. Anything has to do with the MLS computer systems or anything with your listing, data, information, you can call CRMLS first. They will direct you back to the local associations if that's something that local association has to take care of. But anything technical with the MLS system, you automatically remember just to call CRMLS because they open the longest hours, 8:30 to 9 p.m. weekdays, and on weekends, 10 to 3 p.m., okay? And the CRMLS mission, their mission is to deliver through the local member associations, such as West San Gabriel Association of West San Gabriel Valley West San Gabriel Valley Realtors, or the Arcadia Association of Realtors, or Citrus Valley Association of Realtors, or Tri-County Association of Realtors. Those are the several associations that's within 20 minutes driving distance from us, okay? Of course, there are also Cerritos Association of Realtors. So through the local associations, CRMLS provide their service, and they want to provide the most affordable, the most reliable, and the most convenient listing technology service. What is that? Computer system online, so you can input your listing, you can go and search your listings, and you can go and search statistical data about the market area you're trying to do business in. Statistical data, you can search that, okay? So it is also by pulling everybody's resources together, by having all those associations member, you know, the bigger you are, the better you can negotiate with another vendor, right? You can negotiate for better price, better service, more affordable, okay? So in maximizing the use of property data to achieve your business goals, okay? So that's the CRMLS mission. Just to give you an idea, how much area do we cover? CRMLS coverage area. Wow, look at the map to your left. Look at the map to your left. All of those, the dark blue section are the participating associations. They are currently 24, I believe, 24 associations. Let me see. No, I'm sorry, 40 associations of realtors, okay? And 5 data share AORs. And then there's 5 reciprocal MLSs. What does reciprocal means? Our members can get a login and password into their local system, okay? There's 5 MLSs that provide reciprocal access. And then there's 15 additional service areas. 15 additional service areas that do data services with us, okay? So look at all of the areas the dark blue covers. That means right now you go into your MLS system, you can search the dark blue and the data share. Data share means what? Data share means they give us their entire listings database. We give them our entire listing database. So our members logging on to CRMLS MLS system can look at their listings just as the same way their member is looking at ours. So they don't have to join our MLS. Their member still belongs to their MLS, but whenever they search on their database, they get to see, they get to see everybody's listings. That's the data share. There is even a lighter, very faint light blue, like right here. You see that? Everything else, everywhere else, the dark and the light blue, right? But this area, very small area, well, still, they're all in Northern California, okay? Small, very light, the third shade, reciprocal access. So you can go into our MLS system and go to links, and you can be linked to their system, and you will be logged into their system using just like what their member is seeing. You can search their MLS. That's called reciprocal access, okay? We do have those. We do have those. But look at all the areas, okay? We are only here in Los Angeles area. We have Orange County, we have San Diego, Riverside, San Bernardino, Palm Springs, Imperial counties, all kinds of areas. All these areas are actually rural areas, mountains and hillsides, okay? So just a lot of the populated areas, we all have information in our database. So that's why we used to use area numbers for our MLS. Now we don't use area numbers anymore because there are too many MLS with independent and different area number system. We now search by city and zip code is the best way to search for properties, okay? So right now with CRMLS, as of last year, we have over 100,000 active listings and over 145,000 real estate professionals. That means licensees, okay, using the system every day, okay? And if you want to take a screenshot, you can see all the associations that do business with CRMLS, okay, with CRMLS. Okay, and I would like to just briefly talk about the CRMLS benefits, the member benefits. Of course, the biggest benefit is you get to use the CRMLS MLS system, the matrix system. There's another MLS system called Cloud MLX, okay? So if you want to try another system to search our listings, you can actually use Cloud MLX as a MLS system to search. Most of us, including me, are accustomed to use CRMLS matrix system because it is a very easy to use and complete system, and because I'm so used to it, and I can work wonders on it, okay? Cloud MLX systems, I never used it, and I haven't got around to learn to use that system because you have to tell CRMLS if you want to use the Cloud MLX, they will shift your login to the Cloud MLX system, and then you can log in using your username and password only on the Cloud MLX, okay? But because I'm so comfortable with CRMLX, I don't want to move away with it. Now, for mobile MLS options, you have the CRMLS apps. You have also HomeSnap Pro. HomeSnap is an independent third-party cell phone app that can give you MLS listing information on a snap, just like that. So you can either use CRMLS mobile apps or HomeSnaps or MLS Touch. Okay, you can try them all. I have used both HomeSnap and MLS Touch, okay? They're all very easy to use. They're available on your cell phone. So for your Apple iPhone users, just go ahead and download the CRMLS apps from your app store. And for those that use Android systems, go to your, your, what's that called? The area where you download your app, okay? Sorry, I'm not an Android user, so. Okay, and for marketing your data, your MLS, they have different systems. They have Cloud CMA, which is a beautiful looking online CMA report you can generate. The Matrix system also have the capability to create a CMA report, comparative market analysis report. That's resident on the CRMLS Matrix system. You can also click on the, go to Cloud CMA to create your another CMA report using Cloud CMA. Some people like their color, some people like their font look, but the information is all the same. It's a different presentation. So it's a different report looking, different looking report, but the information are the same, okay? You also have Cloud Streams, eProperty Watch. So in other words, you can actually let your client tell you which property they're interested, and you will know from your eProperty Watch. InfoSparks. InfoSpark is a market statistic system that you can use that InfoSpark to do some market statistics. You can pull individual cities, or you can do an area. You can do a whole array of cities. You can do county-wide, okay? That way it will give you some market statistics about the real estate market. And it will give you graphs, it will give you charts, and it will give you the actual numbers, okay? Finance, we have Rate Plug. Rate Plug. If you want to use that, it helps you find the lender that has the best interest rates of the day, okay? And they'll give you a list of lenders with their interest rates, almost like a table. So you can select which lenders to use for what rate they're offering. As you know, interest rates are very, just like our stock market, okay? Our interest rate fluctuates daily. It does, fluctuates little by little, not as big of a change as you see on stock market, but still interest rate may still fluctuate a little bit every day, okay? So Rate Plug can help you find the best interest rates for your client. There's also syndication hubs. Remember I said our listings is going to the internet? Okay, one of the internets is called List Hub. List Hub, it offers services to real estate members. You can check it out, okay? And also, MLS also offer different platforms like Lions Desk, okay? Realtor Property Resource. Lions Desk is almost like a transaction management and reminder system, okay? And you can do that. There is another transaction reminder system called Remind, okay? Remind, you can also save your client's information on there, and your transaction will be saved on that system. And it will give you information about, hey, you can do reminders saying, hey, how many months after the escrow closed, I should contact who and say what, and that's a marketing, okay? So can help you do keeping up with your clients. Scheduling, showtime, scheduling, showtime. You may notice that on some of our listings, if you want to schedule a showing, there's a link there. You click on it and you automatically schedule a showing appointment, okay? Right now, showtime is not very reliable because real estate listing agents not only want you to tell them, they also want you to show them the client signed a PEAD before you get into the property. So with the COVID-19, the best policy is always to contact the listing agent. You know, showtime works great when there's no COVID-19 during the normal times. You just click and schedule your showing appointment, and the listing agent will be alerted, and you just go to show the appointment as though you have made the appointment with the listing agent, okay? Because the listing agent will only contact you if there's a problem with that schedule. So if you didn't get a contact, you just go, you can show the property, okay? Networking, they have home source professionals. I never use that. If you want to check it out, you can. I'll show you where to look for all these services, okay? International, what does that mean, international? Proxio. Proxio, you know, we have services where you can have on your website to allow your client to go search for properties. You know how many of our real estate company websites, client go visit that and say, click here to search properties in your city, and you can do property search. Proxio is a language service that translates the English real estate data into 12 different countries languages, okay? Chinese, Spanish, Portugal, you know, Tagalog, Japanese, Vietnamese, French, you know, 12 different languages. You can, if you do business with in different languages, you can serve your client by using Proxio, okay? And also we offer tax data service right on the MLS with one click away. You know how on the multiple listing service on the listing, you have a link on their APN number. It's a blue link. You click on it, it takes you to a tax database system for assessors in tax information. And you can look at a whole bunch of other information about the property, like when did the buyer buy, who is on title, and what the tax assessor shows as the property features, and what is the current real property tax for the properties like, you know, information. And also whether or not the client owes any money, and how much is their current mortgage, and when they took out the mortgage, okay? There's also another important thing is whether or not the property is in default, meaning notice of default recorded against the property. Because when you are making offers on notice of default properties occupied by the homeowner, you have to be careful. There's laws protecting it. You may, if your client is an investor, you cannot use the regular purchase agreement. You must use the notice of default purchase agreement, okay? But if your client is buying the property to live in, you can use the regular purchase agreement, okay? And if you go and check out on your Zip phone, notice of default purchase agreement, you will see the difference between the two agreements. Especially, it will give you all the laws protecting the seller, okay? Member benefits from West San Gabriel Valley Realtors, that's also available to you. One is called Real Satisfied, okay? That is an online survey system. And so when you have a escrow closing and your clients, you can direct your clients to that and ask your clients, hey, just like a Yelp, okay, Real Satisfied. Your client can go over there and write some comments. They can even post their photo if they want, okay? Or you can post for them, and you can, it's almost like client testimony system, okay? They can rate your services. Another member service is FHA Pro. FHA Pro means if you're buying a condo, taking your client to buy a condo, and if your buyer is using FHA loans, that condominium project has to be FHA approved. And how do you find out whether or not that condo is FHA approved? You can find out through FHA Pro, okay? Type in the property address, and FHA Pro will let you know whether or not that homeowner association is approved for FHA loan, okay? Just remember, not all condominium associations are approved by FHA, okay? So, down to our zip form. one of the biggest member benefits that you have as a realtor, okay, is the use of a zip form, CAR zip form, okay? And you can go to, at Western Gabriel, we offer monthly zip form training. So you can look on our websites and look for education. You can look for zip form training. I trained zip form on Monday, the 13th. I was the one who trained the zip form. And every month, there'll be, next month in August, there'll be a different instructor teaching it, okay? So I suggest that if you're new to zip form, you're unfamiliar with it, take 2 or 3 zip form classes, because each teacher teach a little bit differently, and their method of presentation and the information they provide, you know, there's so much information. Every instructor provides good information, but everyone stated a little bit differently, and so you absorb it a little bit differently. Okay, so look for zip form training, but use zip form whenever you want to do a transaction. Okay, use zip form. Now, there is another member benefit of a realtor. It's called the NAR Realtor Property Resource, or Realtor Property Resource. It's called RPR. RPR is a very advanced computer system that gives you instant access to market statistical information, beautiful graphs about your marketplace, okay? So you can give a general idea of the market condition as your marketing tool. What does that mean? You can actually set up, contact RPR, have your brokers contact RPR, and set up the company logo on the RPR, so you can actually present that report as though it is generated by your company. It's a beautiful looking general market analysis report that you can give to your client as a handout, you know. Let your client see, wow, you know, you have all kinds of information. You are truly a real estate expert, okay? It creates the ultimate listing package, okay, with the comparable analysis tools, beautiful looking reports. Play with it. It's free. Your member services give you free access to it. So you should go in there and play around with it. You can send customized client-friendly reports from your smartphone, okay? So go and learn it and play with it, and people, you know, I have agents love it and swear by it all the time, okay? They say it makes them look so professional in front of their client. And in fact, 2 agents actually told me their buyer decided to go with them and dump the other agents who was working with them, because they feel like our agents using the RPR tool gave them the impression they're so professional and they're so much better than the other agent, because the other agent never gave them any information, just become like a driver. You want to see property, I take you to these properties, and that's it. They don't give any kind of market analysis. They can't do any comparable market analysis. All they are just glorified chauffeur. I mean, not chauffeur, you can't drive your clients anymore, but opening the door for the client kind of thing, okay? So NAR's RPR, okay? That's, I'm sorry, this is not a very clear photo, but these, you get the idea. These are the kind of graphs that you can get, RPR reports from realtor property resources, okay? So, okay, where do you get all those, how do you access all those goodies that I told you about? I'm sure you have seen this web page before. After you log in, you come to here. This is called the CRMLS and matrix system landing page, okay? Because after you put in your username and passwords, you see here, Brian Chen, it already know that I logged in, I'm a member, I'm authorized to use this right here. Most of us click right here to get to the matrix system, correct? All of these additional products, you see, the HomeSnap, Cloud CMA, Cloud MLX, Cloud Streams, InfoSpark, LionDesk, ListHub, MLS Touch, okay, the NAR member resources, the RPR systems, okay, the showing times where you click to make showing appointments, Remind, Realist, RatePlug, Proxio, they're all here at your fingertips. So most of you come to this page, you only come to here, okay, to look at the listing data. You're not playing around to get yourself familiar with all these extra services. It can help make you look good in front of your client. It can help you market yourself much better. Hey, real estate agents, it's not your job is not only to show the properties, okay? Your job is to market yourself as a real estate professional, the best real estate professionals to anyone who come in contact with you. So the sooner you learn all these services, all these products, and you give your business some thoughts, and then you plan on what products you really want to use, what kind of stuff you want to provide to your clients, okay? So now I have shown you where to access all those, because previously I just mentioned a few of those, right? Now they're all available right here. Just remember, play with it. Your membership gives you access into it, okay? Now, let's talk a little bit more serious about rules and regulations. MLS is not just a place where you look up the listings and schedule appointment to show. MLS also implements and convicts. Well, they don't convict. They implement and issue fines to rules violators, okay? So remember, you have to know CRMLS rules and regulations, and there's a citation policy, okay? These two items are updated, recently updated, because, why? Because NAR just enacted a brand new rule called Clear Cooperation Rule, okay? It became effective May 1st. So CRMLS also adjusted their rules and regulations to coincide with the NAR rules and regulations, okay? And the fine policy is refined. You will be fined a lot higher money than before, okay? So if you're an old timer, you took a break in real estate, you're in today's orientation because you want to restart your business, hey, the citation fines are a lot higher now, okay? So do yourself a favor, go to CRMLS, go to rules and policies, click on it, and then review the rules and policies, okay? And there is a compliance frequently asked questions, FAQs, okay? You can do that, okay? You can click and find out. Here it is, the Clear Cooperation Policy, effective May 1st, 2020. Okay, here is the language for the NAR's rule. That means within one business day, okay, of marketing a property, you must put the property into the MLS. Here is in CRMLS, within one business day of marketing a property, okay, the listing must be placed into the MLS. Must, okay? So, let me just give you a little bit brief descriptions. So, new coming soon status. Once a listing agreement is signed, okay, you need to put that listing into the MLS system. Put it into the MLS system. You can actually, before, for example, some of us may say, I signed the listing today, but I'm sending in the home stagers and the professional photographers, and that takes a few days to schedule. And I want to get a home, maybe a house cleaner to help the seller clean up the house, make it so presentable, so beautiful, okay? And I want to create professional looking virtual tours, and maybe schedule for a drone video, okay? And even do beautiful interactive 3D virtual tours or property flyers. All that takes time, right? Don't worry. You still have to put it into the MLS within 1 business day, right? But you can put it into coming soon status. Coming soon status. You can put it in there. And once you put the listing into the coming soon status, it will be there for up to 21 days. Of course, if it only takes you 7 days and get the house ready to market for everybody, hey, you can go in there to the coming soon status. You can go into your listing and change from coming soon to active. You can change the status at any time you want. But if you don't do anything, your listing will stay in coming soon status for up to 21 days. On the 22nd day, okay, the MLS system, if you didn't do anything, the MLS system will automatically convert the coming soon to active on the market, okay, on the 22nd day. Now, people ask, during the coming soon, what can I do? Well, you can put a sign on the property with coming soon rider on it. You can have flyers and even social media advertisement with coming soon. You got to identify as coming soon, okay? You cannot do any showing to any client or allow any other agents to show your client during the coming soon status. No showing is allowed, okay? No showing is allowed. But you can market future open houses. I'm sorry, COVID-19, right now we do not do open houses, but you can market future open houses while in the coming soon status, okay? But remember, before you actually start showing the property or holding the open house, the property must be converted to active, active status. Misspelling, you got to convert that to active status, okay? So you got to do that before you can do the showing. During coming soon, however, because the coming soon status is available to everybody to see, so MLS subscriber can actually search property under coming soon status. So what does that mean? Some people may say, I drove by the property and this is the area that my buyer is looking for. This is the house my buyer liked the view and everything looks great. My buyer wants to make an offer. You know how we can always make offers subject to inside inspections or inside viewing? Yeah, we call that, in our industry, we call that blind offers. That means the buyer hasn't seen the property, the inside of the property. It's a blind offer, okay? But if your buyer wants to make a blind offer, sure, you can present a blind offer for buyers, and seller can accept them if the seller wants. But believe me, most of the sellers will not accept blind offers. Why? The seller is thinking, I haven't really marketed the property to everybody yet. So if I accept an offer now, unless it's overpriced, great looking, no contingent, the seller just say, this is too good to be passed up, okay? Most seller will not accept blind offers anyway. Most seller will wait at least until a few days after there is proper showing of the properties on the active open market, okay? But that doesn't stop the buyer from wanting to make a blind offer. And yes, blind offer can be made, and seller, yes, they may accept it, but it is unlikely, okay? But still, people can do blind offers. Let's talk about putting in the MLS listings into the MLS. MLS has listing input forms to help you organize your listing data in a form, and then all you have to do is type it in and from the form. Because on the form, it will have all the required fields marked in red asterisk. Therefore, for you to gather your information to be a complete information, so you will not have any problems inputting the listing into the MLS, you should use the MLS listing input forms and fill out all the information, that minimally the required information. Hopefully, you will give more elaborate and more information, but all information has to be truthful, okay? It has to be accurate. So anyway, you can gather all your information before inputting your listings. It will help you save time when you're listing, when you're sitting in front of the computer trying to enter the listing into the MLS. Okay? Remember that. You can go to CRMLS, go to listing input forms, or you can scroll down to support, click on support, scroll down to listing input forms, click. Everything is searchable on the website. Okay, everything is searchable on the website. And then there's basically 8 property listing input forms: residential, residential income, residential lease, land and lots, mobile homes, commercial industrial, and commercial lease. Lastly, business opportunity. Those are the property types available in the CRMLS database, and there's listing input forms to help you. Sorry, I got the hiccups. Okay. Some people say, how do I show properties? On your listing data, you must following the showing instructions. Appointment only, call first. Vacant, go direct, okay? Or keep watch with your client during viewing, or secure property before leaving. I don't know why listing agents have to remind people of that, but unfortunately, we have some agents who unlock people's property, do the showing, afterward they close the door and walk away. Never lock the property back up. Hello? Hello? Do you do that in your house? Well, even if you do, don't do it on other people's listing. You gotta lock up everything. Because sometimes when we are preparing a property for showing, the draperies or the mini blinds may be shut down, okay? You may want to open it up because a brighter house shows much better, so we open it up. And we may turn on the central air. If you turn on the central air, remember to shut it off. Electricity is expensive. You don't want the house to sit there with the air conditioning keep on running, okay? Because we don't know when the next showing is. The next showing may be tomorrow, maybe 2 days from now. We don't know. But in the meantime, if you turn on the aircon to make your buyer feel comfortable when they walk in, you got to shut it off, okay? Secure the property. Any doors that you open, close it. Now, another thing is, if you have any problems with the listing, for example, if your client, while looking at the property, they tripped and fell and hurt themselves, call the listing agent immediately. Alert them to the problem. Or if you walk into a property, believe me, we have buyer's agents walking into a property because the seller went on vacation for 2 weeks, okay? And the property is vacant on lockbox, right? I mean, it's not vacant, but it's on lockbox. So the selling agent made an appointment, opened the door, and they walked in, and they realized the house has been ransacked by thieves, okay? Burglary. It may have just happened. We don't know. But if you walk into a house, looks like someone just burglarized the house, pick up your cell phone and call the listing agent immediately. Report the situation. okay? We work together as a team. You represent buyer, he represents the seller. But when you know about something happened to the property, let him know so he can notify the seller, okay? Appointment only means appointment only. You do not just go knock on the door, okay? Let me tell you one example, a very, very sad situation, okay? Several years ago, I had an agent from West Covina calling. They were very, very mad about one of our members, and they want to file an ethics complaint. What happened was the listing said, appointment only, minimum 3 hours advance notice. Minimum 3 hours advance notice, okay? And guess what this buyer's agent did? They were showing property nearby. And then as they were driving by, and this is before COVID, so everybody's in the same car, right? So they were driving by and the buyer say, hey, how about that property? Why is that property not on our list? And the buyer agent say, oh, let me go check it out. And they check out, okay, and it says appointment only, okay, because we have the list hub, right? We can MLS Touch. We have all kinds of tools. The guy just say, oh, I can. He texts the listing agent, says, I would like to make an appointment to show, but my client is right here, right now. They want to show. Well, the listing agent haven't replied yet, and he saw a lockbox on the side door. It's not on the front door, and on the listing it never says about anything about the lockbox. Okay. Oh, the agent said, oh, there's a lockbox. Used up his super key, opened the door, walked right in. This house belonged to a Alhambra firefighter. Okay, his wife is schizophrenic. She has mental problems. They require 3 hours advance notice for showing for a specific reason. The listing agent have to contact the next door neighbor, who is a very good friend of the wife. They grew up together. So the wife trusts the next door neighbor, the lady. The lady have to make sure she go over there, take the wife out, say, let's go shopping or something. Oh, very happy, and they go shopping, okay? Because the wife is mentally disturbed. Any stranger walking in, she thinks that she's being attacked. She's scared wits, okay? That's why they require 3 hours advance notice for showing, because her best friend have to go get the wife out so they can the house can be shown. Well, this stupid agent did not bother to wait for listing agent's confirmation, because the listing agent, before he confirmed, he have to contact who? The next door neighbor to say, are you home? Can you go over there and grab Betty? Anyway, can you go grab your friend and take your friend out because there's a showing? While the agent's still contacting the next door neighbor, okay? The stupid idiot agents use the Supra key, open the lockbox, there's a key, open the door, and they had 5 clients. Well, 4 clients with him, 5 people. 5 people in the party. They just walked right in, okay? And guess what the wife was doing? The wife was taking a nap. This is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The wife was taking a nap upstairs in the master bedroom. And all of a sudden, there are people walking around talking inside the home. Let's not talk about the wife has mental problems. Think about this. If you're at home sleeping, and all of a sudden you're awake by noises, and you can hear people talking and walking around your home, will you be scared scared out of your wits? Yes. And this happened to this wife who has mental problems, who doesn't feel secure, even inside her home. I feel so bad because, firefighters, they work on shifts that they actually sleep in the fire station. So when they work like 3 days on, 3 days off. During those 3 days, they're at the fire stations, okay? They're not at home. So this poor woman is sleeping in the master bedroom, awakened by strangers walking downstairs. You know what she did? She opened the window, climbed out to the roof, and was trying to climb down and escape. And what follows is the wife had a mental relapse and has to be taken to a mental facility for recuperation. It was a very bad situation. All because the stupid agent did not follow a simple instruction says 3 hours advance notice, must, require. I mean, I read the listing. The listing agent couldn't make it any more clear. Must, require in big letters. This particular buyer's agent just used the lockbox and opened the door and walked right in. The lockbox is there for the convenience of those agents who made that appointment. The listing agent will text them, says the lockbox is on the side door. By the way, how would people see the lockbox? That means this particular agent actually walked onto the property, walked around, and saw the lockbox on the side door. That is trespassing. That's illegal. Okay, so agents, pay attention to showing instructions. I spent a lot of time talking about showing instructions because it is very important. Okay, it is very important. We have to follow that. Even if it's inconvenient for you, I'm sorry, you have to follow that. You can actually, listing agents, you can have instant lockbox access report available to you at a fingertip with a click of a finger, okay? If you input the serial number of your registered Supra lockbox into your listing, okay? There's an area that says lockbox serial number. You input there, then that listing become linked with Supra system with a serial number check. So that the next time a listing agent is looking at their listing, below the property photos, there is lockbox symbols. The listing agent, only the listing agent can see it and click on it, and boom, you'll have the report who accessed and who has shown used the lockbox to open the door. Okay, it's instant access report. So it's very convenient. Here, I just want to remind you to use that. From time to time, your computer, your MLS system will give you reminder notices. For example, 14 days before a particular event, say you input a listing and your listing is about to expire July 31st, right? July 31st, it's about to expire. Well, 14 days before July 31st, you will receive one email, say, Brian Chen, your listing is about to expire. It gives the listing number. So you can actually click on the listing number and be taken to your listing, okay? And or you can search on your MLS and it will say your listing number and the property address and it says it's about to expire on July 31st, okay? It's give you a reminder for you to do what? To go back to the seller and says we may need to extend the listing period, okay? So you got to remember, it helps you do your job. And then 1 week later, 7 days before the listing expires, they'll send you the second reminder, one reminder. And then after that, one reminder email each and every day until the expiration date. And if you have property in escrow, for example, if I input, I have a property in escrow and July 24th is the estimated closing date, right? estimated closing date. And then 14 days before July 24th, that means on July 10th, I will receive an email that says, on July 24th, your listing such and such is due to close. This is to remind me because you know what? Sometimes escrow get extended, right? The buyer loan got delayed. We have to extend it for another week. And we may forget to go in there and change the estimated closing date. So once you receive the email reminder, if your escrow is not going to close on that day, you need to go into your system and change and update the escrow date. My method, Brian Chen's method, I always input my estimated COE days 2 days beyond the actual estimated date. So if it's due to close on the 24th, when I input to the MLS, I will say estimated closing date is 27. I will tell you why. Because our computer system has a system, what we call auto expire or auto sale date. That means automatically, if you did not go in there and confirm the expiration date or actually confirm that the escrow really closed and what is the final sale price, okay? When the time comes, the system will automatically turn it to sold, and then there will be a rest asterisk behind it. Why? Because you have just been committed a violation. You have failed to keep the status up to date, because it is your responsibility, the listing agent's responsibility, to keep all statuses up to date. So if you do that, you will get fined, okay? That's why I always put in a date 2 days extra, because it gives me time to confirm, oh yeah, it closed. And then I go in their computer system to change the actual closing date. Or yes, it is expired. I will go in there and input the actual expiration date, okay? It is very important for you to make sure your information is always correct and up to date, okay? Now we're gonna talk a little bit about frequent violations. Some of the violations happens in the description violations, okay? You need to have at least one photograph, okay, of the property. If it is a brand new home, okay, if it's a brand new home being built, usually you will get a, what we call a artist rendering of the home, okay? Not your son's drawing, okay? This is the actual rendering from the builder, which is accurately depicting what the house will look like. You need to have that, okay, on as the primary, the #1 photo. You must, okay, you must input that photo in, okay? At least one photo. There's also other description violations, such as you put in information that's not describing the property, information that is not describing the property, okay? Oops. You should put in only this property to describe the property, such as what the inside looks like, what kind of material it is used, what kind of view you have, and all that, okay? You're not supposed to say, for more information, contact Brian Chen, the listing agent. Okay, you cannot say that in the property description, because the listing system is used by other real estate professionals to market to their clients. Okay, you cannot advertise yourself. Remember that, okay? Let me tell you something else. I have listing agents actually put in, the alarm code is pound 1234 pound, right in the property description. You know, remember before I told you that our listing information is sent to public portals on the internet. Now the entire world knows his alarm code. Alarm codes supposed to be put in the private remarks between the agents later on, not in the public area, but in a private area only between agents, okay? Or most likely the listing agent will only, nowadays, most of them will just text you the alarm codes when they confirm your showing appointment, okay? But it never belongs in a property description. I also had problem with agents who type in, do not show properties between 3 to 6 p.m. Small children home alone. Stupid, stupid, stupid. That's a violation. It's not describing the property, okay? And it doesn't belong there. If you want that to be a part of the showing instructions, put it into the agent remarks area, okay? You don't want to announce to the world, hey, come to this house, small children home alone, no adults, okay? You can take them and sell them, okay? Hello, are you stupid or what? Don't do that, okay? Think before you act. Think before you act. So when you're typing property descriptions, listen to it, to yourself. Read it out loud. Does it sound good? Does it sound bad? Okay, read. And better yet, have one of your coworkers read the property description. It has to be describing the property. Another kind of violations, it may be obscure, but be careful with it. Do not use the word walk, okay? And do not use words like close to Chinese supermarket. Anything has to do with physical ability, maybe against American with Disabilities Act, and anything have to do with ethnic reference is all bad, is all inappropriate. It violates the Equal Rights Act. Okay, so do not use any kind of ethnic reference, okay? And do not use any kind of walking, okay? Within walking distance to everything, because there are people who cannot walk. We have actually agents being sued by lawyers representing American with Disabilities Act for that, okay? It's a stupid lawsuit, but unfortunately it happens. Since it happened, I'd like to remind people, be careful with your descriptions, okay? Branded photos. Some of us, real estate agents, may be the inheritant agent that have benefited from someone else losing the listing. For example, Brian Chen listed for 8 months, did not sell. The seller canceled the listing. Okay, I let it cancel. Okay, and then another agent took over. And another agent didn't even bother to send their photographers to go out, take their own photos. They just went to my listing that expired, downloaded the photo, and uploaded the photo into their listing. Well, in the CRMLS, every time a photo is uploaded into the MLS system, it codes it. It's called branded photos. Now, that stupid agent just violated the branded photos rules and regulations. Why? All photos are copyrighted, okay? So when you just grab something from here and put it there, from this listing and put it into your listings, you already violated the listing, okay, the rule. And you know how much the fine for that is? It is $2,500 per occurrence. Now, per occurrence, if you grabbed 10 photos, it could be 10 occurrences, isn't it? So it's $2,500 times 10. That's $25,000. Very expensive photo. So you just remember, do not grab photo from another listing or another website. Here's another important thing. You know how we have Google Street View. Do not use Google Street View and just take the photo and put it into MLS. Google Street View are for your viewing while you're online. It is specifically licensed for just the viewer. You cannot grab it and use it in any other kind of marketing material. It is a copyright violation. Oh, yes. And Google, if they found out, yes, Google will sue you. They're not shy about suing people. Think about it. You know, here's a huge corporation with lots of money. They have teams of lawyers, okay? And they're looking for what? To protect their assets. What is their assets? Their information is their assets on the internet. So anytime they find out their information is being used and violated, they will pursue because they know once they pursue, they will win. That's where the big money comes in, okay? So be careful, be careful. Don't grab those street view photos from Google, and don't grab another person's listing photo. Always take your own photos or send your own photographers to take the photos. Okay, just remember that. Oh, I will not accept photos from the seller, by the way, because most of the time, what is the photo from the seller? It's from the previous listing agent. They hired a professional photographer, and the seller said, well, they took a lot of photos. Can I have a set of that? No problem. They gave him a set of that for his view. But if you use it, you're stealing from his paid photos that's to be used on his listing and onto yours. Believe me, you may get reported. You may get into big trouble about that, okay? So those are the second highest occurring violations. I'm only giving you the top 5, okay? Many people forget about the mandatory submission rule. That needs to be changed, and I have to change that because starting from May 1st is 1 business day, okay? 1 business day. Okay, just remember 1 business day. That's where I told you about description violation, public remarks, okay? Remember, you just gotta make sure the verbiage that you used are professional, okay? And make grammatical sense. Grammatical sense. I had an agent who put in property is located close to shopping malls, restaurants, okay? That's what he meant to say, are close by, okay? But you know what he wrote? He wrote, shopping mall and restaurants are all closed. Well, it kind of make the listing looks like a stupid idiot wrote it. It's supposed to be all close by, but he wrote it all closed. When I saw it, I had to correct that for my agent. That's a joke from one of my agents. And I asked him, are you talking about today because of COVID-19? They're all closed. No, I meant to say it's all very close by. They can go take a walk and things like that. I said, it's close by. But he said it in Chinese, so I know what he meant. But when he write it into English, he write, are all closed. Okay? So I understand many of us, English is a second language, and it is a second language for me too. But at least we have to make a best effort, try to present in a good, well-written English description when we put it onto the market. Why? Because that listing information goes all over the internet. You don't want to advertise to the world that you are not a professional real estate agent. So your listing actually projects something about you, okay? The last most frequently violated is the not up-to-date. Is the not up-to-date information. The MLS says anytime any information is changed on your listing, you have to make sure you update it. Update it within 48 hours. Okay, update it within 48 hours. So what does that mean? If you have an active listing, and once you have an accepted offer on that listing, okay, Brian Chen says, I always tell all of my agents, update it immediately. Don't wait, okay? So you have an accepted offer. What should be the status? The status should be changed from A to B. B for backup offers. Why? Once you have an accepted offer, you can no longer accept another offer. The best you can do is accept a backup offer. So you need to let everybody else know, hey, we have an accepted offer, but we're still entertaining backup offers. Okay, so B for backup offer. And then either that, if your seller don't want to accept any more backup offers, he feel very comfortable, then the status is C for contingent. I'm sorry. Yeah, C for contingent. That means I have an accepted offer, but the buyer hasn't removed the contingency yet. So the status is C for contingent. Okay, contingency. Once the buyer removes all contingency, that means the 17 days property contingency or the 21 days loan contingency. The property is waiting what? Pending the lender to fund the loan. So the status should be P for pending. P for pending. So you need to change the status, okay? And of course, once it's closed, you need to change from P to what? To closed. S, sold, to closed. Sold, okay? You need to change it to sold, okay? So the status has to be accurate. But what about information? For example, if you started out with something and you wrote something in, and later on you found out whatever you wrote is not accurate, you need to go in there immediately and correct it. Immediately and correct it. Your information has to be accurate, okay? For example, if you say the property has central air, later on you found out it is not a central air system, it's called what we call a separated system, a separated system. You need to go in there and change that. You cannot say it has central air because it is not a central air, okay? So we do have new agents that doesn't know about home features, so they may have inaccurately described the features in a home. Once you found out from your broker or something, or your coworker pointed out to you, you need to go in there and change it right away, okay? Your information has to be accurate. Here's another information. We have agents who out there who wrote in, this is a duplex, okay, duplex. Well, only to find out that the second unit is the back master bedroom. The back master bedroom that has a separate entry door does not make this property a duplex, okay? Even though the current seller has rented out the back master bedroom, but it is still part of this one single house, okay? It's a 4-bedroom house with the back added as a master bedroom with a separate door. And the owner, current owner, the seller, is renting that room out to a tenant, okay? But you know what? That tenant shares the hallway bath. That tenant shares the kitchen. It is not a separate unit. It is not a duplex. A duplex has to have its own bathroom and its own kitchen, okay? In order, and can be completely separated from an attaching property. That is a duplex. When there is no separation and people are sharing, that's still one single family house, okay? So if you found that out, you have to correct it, change it, okay? It is not a duplex. Those are something that I found out. Okay. Today, I mentioned a lot of rules and regulations with you. It may be mind-boggling, okay? I suggest that you do yourself a favor, go to CRMLS and download the CRMLS rules and regulations, and just look through them, familiarize yourself with the rules and regulations. But if you follow Brian Chen's simple 4 basic principles, you won't have any problems, okay? 4 basic principles. 1, you input all these things within 1 business day. 2, make sure all information are accurate. Make sure all information are accurate. 3, make sure the status and information are all up to date. Okay, that means the status change, you update your status change. Don't ignore the courtesy emails. When you see a system email to you reminding you of something, act and respond. By the way, if you're ever in a violation, CRMLS also send out the violation letter in an email. And if you don't act within the specified time limit for correction, that once the fine is assessed, you will have to pay that fine. And if once the fine is assessed and you still don't respond, you don't act, the fine will double or maybe increase. I'm sorry. It doesn't necessarily double, but the fine will be increased. Okay. For example, a $300 fine will be increased to $500. $500 fine may be increased to $750, and then increase to $1,000, $1,500, so on and so forth. So if you just don't respond to anything, the fine will keep on rising. Okay, so do yourself a favor. Whenever you receive these courtesy emails, read it and respond. Okay, and no, this goes without saying. Make sure the emails in your MLS system is your correct email. I have agents says, my email was hacked 2 years ago. I changed the email address. But he never notified the association to change his email address in their association roster. And guess what? In the CRMLS system, it is still the old email. And when the system generates violations and fines, it emailed to that old email address. Okay, it's very bad, very, very bad. You guys always remember, you gotta keep your email addresses up and current, okay? Lastly, you treat everybody fairly and with professional courtesy. Then you won't be pissing off other people, okay? When people get mad, when I call you and leave you a voicemail and with important questions for you to contact me back because my buyer's waiting for that information to act or something. Hey, and you never call me back and I have to keep on calling and leave voicemail and you still don't call me back. You know, you're guilty of not cooperating with another realtor. That's a violation, okay? How about if we're in transaction? We're in a transaction, you're the listing agent, I represent the buyer, and we are under the timeline, and then I contact you, says, I need the seller disclosure. Per contract, you're supposed to give it to me within 7 days. And the listing agent don't give it to you until the 12th day. In the meantime, you keep on emailing, the listing agent just ignore your email, never responded. And then worse yet, after they send it to you, on that same day, they says, time for you to remove your contingency. And then keep on hunting you. You know, those kind of behavior will piss off somebody really quick, okay? And that's when they come to the association and wanting to report unethical behavior and want to start a grievance hearing against somebody. So don't do that yourself, okay? Treat everybody fairly and with professional courtesy. If you follow these 4 basic principles, you don't have a thing to worry. You can just go about your daily business with, without worry, okay? The realtor's golden rules is this: you do unto others as you would others do unto you. This is a simple rule. If you don't want to be treated that way, then don't treat other people that way, okay? What goes around comes around, okay? So be courteous to other people, and other people will be courteous to you. If you're very nice and polite, the other people is gonna like you, and they're not going to be rude. Sometimes people don't understand why is the other side so rude to me. I have agents that come to me and say, the listing agent is so rude and so abrasive when they talk to me. I said, tell me, what happened? I called him up and I just asked simple questions. I said, how did you ask the question? He said, for example, this agent's John, right? I just call up, hey, John, this is Brian from US National Realty. I want to show your house, okay, this afternoon. Please, give me an appointment, okay? And the way you say it is a very abrasive and very sharp tone. Maybe it's because your English is not as good and you appear to be very demanding. Well, you instantly already offended the other side. No greetings, how are you? I'm calling about your 123 Main Street. My buyer would love to see it. Somehow there's a better way for you to talk to the listing agent. So when I call the listing agent for my agent, the listing agent answered the phone very pleasant. And when I answer her with very pleasant conversation, the agent is sitting right there and we're on speakerphone. He could not believe it. It's like she's a totally different person than when she spoke to him. And then after I got my points across, I hung up. I told the agent, what goes around comes around. When you talk to people with rude tone, okay, because people can see your face, but when you sound like you're a very rude person, they may treat you rudely back to you because they retaliate, okay? You know what they say? For every equal force, there's an equal reaction, right? So if you push somebody, they're gonna push back. If you talk sharply at somebody, they're gonna talk sharply back to you. I don't think any of us ever answer the phone, hello, what do you want? No, we always say, this is Brian, may I help you, right? Be courteous. So this is my advice to you. Hey, you know what? This is still a very lucrative career you guys picked. We can make lots of money. I mean, think about it. We sell homes averaging about what, $800,000? Well, $800,000, 2.5% of that is how much? $20,000. Okay? We sell one house, we make $20,000 in commission. Of course, you have your commission split with your broker, but that's still a lot of money. A lot of money. You know, I have agents that sold so far this year, sold 5 houses, and they're already made, $200,000, okay? Because they're selling in a higher priced homes. So it is a very lucrative career. You can make good money selling homes. So welcome to a very lucrative career, and let's go and make some good money together, okay? Have some fun doing it. There is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that we all chase. I hope you get your pot of gold. Thank you very much. And this is the end of my part 2. Thank you. Thank you for your participation. And hopefully we'll see each other in the field. Thank you. Bye-bye. Angie?
Yes, I am here. Thank you so much, Brian, for that informative message. Do you have a few minutes to answer a few questions in the chat?
Sure, of course. I can. I cannot see any chat right here.
No problem. I'll read the questions if you don't mind.
Sure, of course.
The first one is, are the complaints only between agents or can they be between agents and clients?
Oh, the complaint can be anybody against anybody. It could be member of the public coming into the board and file a complaint against you. For example, we have situations where you know, a seller come in and want to file a complaint against their agent. Okay, it could be agent against agents, broker against another office agent against, you know, clients against agents. Actually, agents against clients association don't listen to that because the client is under no obligation to respond to our summons. You are under obligation to respond to our summons. So if someone here come to the Western Gabriel Valley Realtors and file a complaint against you, when the grievance committee sends it over to the professional standards committee and the association notify you that you have a complaint against you, you need to do this, you need to do that, you have an obligation to respond and act, okay? So that's by agreement. Member of the public don't have to listen to what the association is asking them to do. Unless they come to association, they're the one who initiated a complaint against you, then you have to respond, and then they have to show up for the hearing and present their case and evidence, okay? Next question.
Next one is, what about if the client pays for the photos? Can you use them at that point?
Okay, be careful. The client pays for the photos. You need to ask the client to see the contract. Every professional photographer will give whoever pays for their photo services a contract, okay? Because photographs are copyrighted. So you have to look at on the contract, what kind of usage license did the purchaser of the photo receive? Okay, so you have to be careful because professional photographers, most of them retains their copyrights. But if you want to be safe, you should go to CRMLS and go to their approved photographers list and look for photographers that are approved by CRMLS, because CRMLS specifically contract with photographers and review their contract and make sure they grant the proper license to the real estate agents to use for marketing the property. So anyone under our CRMLS approved photographer list, their contract is properly licensing you, the real estate professionals, the realtors, to use their photograph for marketing your listing purposes, okay? So if your client give you the professionally taken photos that they have paid, you need to ask your clients to show you the contract to make sure you have, they have assignment rights. They assign the copyright rights to you, okay?
Thank you. A few more, and the next one is, how do we look up the property information such as building permits or the floor plan, excuse me. Our city hall is closed due to COVID-19, and what tools can we use to find out the details of a property?
Okay, for city permits, you can go to visit City Hall's website. Most of the cities have their building permits issued to properties within their city limits on websites. So you can actually go to that web page and type in your property address, and then it will look into that property information, and then you will display all the PDFs with all the permits. There is another service out there. I know that there is, but I never used it because Brian Chen is cheap. I don't pay for that service. If you pay a service $20, They will search city permits for you. And what they do is they do exactly what I do. Go to the city hall, go into the city permits section and look for the city permits and pull it. So those are your options. And floor plans, unfortunately, there is never a floor plan on file. You go to any city hall, seldomly will you ever find a floor plan for a house. You know what most, when you see on the MLS that there is a full floor plan, hey, the listing agent pays somebody. I think the cheapest one I heard was $75. More expensive one, you can go up to $200. You can look up floor plan services on Google. Just Google it. Floor plan services. You can find a whole bunch of them. They'll come to the house, they'll walk through the house, and then within hours, they'll email you the floor plan, which you can then post the floor plan onto the MLS if you want. But other than that, no other floor plans are supposed to be more accurate.
Thank you. One last question here is my brokerage firm doesn't allow, quote, business opportunity, end quote, buy-sell transactions.
That is correct. Many brokerage houses, including my brokerage house, currently I do not allow my agents to do business opportunity brokerage because it is so easy to get sued over it. Because most of the seller of businesses, when they sell the business, they're supposed to give the profit and loss statements, the income statements. They have to show their books and they have to share their client information about that. And some of them, those information are not accurate. So when someone bought the business and they paid the money based on the projected income, and they buy the business, and later on found out the income is not as what the paper indicated, they'll sue. And when they sue, they are not only suing the seller, they're also suing the agents involved, because most of the time, once the seller sold the the business, they're long gone. It's hard to find them, right? But real estate agents are always there. We have a real estate DRE license for them to track us down. And so a lot of times you sell a business opportunities. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't have the right releases and, you know, the hold harmless clauses and everything, you're exposing yourself to a lot of lawsuits, potential lawsuits. And because we primarily do residential property sales, I will allow them to do commercial property sales, commercial leases, residential leases. I will not let them sell business opportunities either, because, you know, it is so risky. And especially when I don't have the proper business opportunity knowledge to guide them. I don't want to invite problems. And when you work for a broker, you are under that broker. Therefore, you can only do the business that broker is willing to do. So if that broker is not willing to do business opportunities, you cannot force that broker to risk himself for business opportunities, okay? So you just have to follow your broker. If you want to do business opportunities and exclusively, then you need to go to a business opportunity brokerage firm, okay?
Thank you so much. That is the last question. Thank you all for joining. You will receive a follow-up email confirming that you did attend, if you did attend in its entirety, as well as instructions on how to complete the Code of Ethics online course. Thank you so much for attending. Have a great rest of your day and a nice weekend.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure sharing this past 2 hours with you. Thank you. Bye-bye.